everyone, it's Henry at Mowers and Mowers. Good afternoon. It's gonna be raining all day today. Downpours at times, thunderstorms, and wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. So last night, Andy the Brit from across the street, he comes over here after putting up his Christmas lights and he says, "Hey Henry, when are you going to put up your Christmas lights?" And I was like, what could I do? He's right. I gotta eventually put up my lights, you know what I mean? Anyway, today's a lousy day outside to be working outdoors, so I'm gonna try to do something indoors today. Still don't even know what I'm ready to do. It all depends on what I get with my mailbag. Got a couple of packages throughout the past couple of days, you know, backed up from Thanksgiving, you know, and so I haven't had a chance to open them yet. I did open some of the packages, but I just want to show you. This one is, I'm thinking, is my carburetor that I bought for $10.50 for my Mantis Echo Red Max Little Wonder 30-inch hedge trimmer. So this kit for $10.50, I mean, that's cheap, you know what I mean? Comes with the fuel line grommet and the breather hose all in one with an air filter, fuel filter on it. It comes with a spark plug, an extra primer bulb, an air filter, free bag, 2 gaskets, wow, and the carburetor. I gotta tell you, I mean, I don't know how you make money from this. It's a complete carburetor, exact match to, I believe it's a Zama or something. So I need a new carburetor for my hedge trimmer, because while I adjusted and adjusted for an hour, it just doesn't seem to run right, and then at one point it won't even start now. But I know the engine runs. How well, I'm not 100% sure, but I've already spent $15 on the magneto. I figure I'd go all in, you know? And so this was $10.50. Complete carburetor with all those extras. How do you go wrong? You know what I mean? I mean, it's a complete kit for everything you need to tune up your hedge trimmer. I'm gonna put that on today and see if it works. In the meantime, I'm going to show you what I got the other day. It's going to be very windy today, but I needed another GoPro frame for my shorty stick. I got a different color camo this time. It's only $8 from China. I waited like a month and a half for it. But whatever. And the final thing I got was, you guys remember I was trying to take that blade adapter off that lawnmower the other day, you know, and I had to do some major grinding to get it off because it was so rusted shut. So I saw this on eBay for $12 or something. It's a blade adapter puller, you know. Looks like I gotta go through a lot just to put it together. And it doesn't come with any instructions. Forget about it, we don't need instructions, right? But anyway, so it's a, it looks like that. You know, 3 claws with a big shaft in between, and you just turn it and should be able to pull, you know, 3 jaw puller, 3-inch. Like I said, it was cheap. It was like $12, something like that. So I'll use this the next time I need to take off a blade adapter or whatever needs to be pulled and it won't move, like pulleys and stuff, you know. I also got this really cool thing, as you guys know from my previous videos, right? That I have this therapy light that kind of lights up my garage a little bit, but I've never really had very good lighting, you know what I mean? So I saw this on eBay also, just browsing for garage lighting. And so I have like this outlet, right? It's just a lamp, you know, it's a lamp. And it had one of those floodlights on it, right? You know, you just turn it in there. And so I saw this thing, it's an LED light. This was only $15, okay? You're like, $15 for a light bulb? What are you, crazy? Well, check it out, okay? You just screwed it in. Holy cow. I mean, this lights up my garage big time. See? It's crazy bright. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool because look, you could also go like this, you know, to kind of compact the beam, if you will. See what I'm saying? It's like a propeller, you know? But holy cow, is it bright. I like it so much that I bought another one that has 5 blades, you know? And maybe I'll put it up on top of here, you know? So I'll have this LED lighting in my garage, and it's not even that expensive, you know what I mean? This thing's supposed to last like forever or something, you know? So I thought that was pretty cool, but it lights up my garage very well now. As you can see, this is going to be happening all day today. As you know from yesterday's episode, I got this Toro 826 dual stage snowblower going again. We just changed the belts on it and I adjusted the auger lever, and so now this snowblower runs great. However, I forgot to check the oil, right? And so before I give this back to my friend Mike, I'm gonna check the oil. I checked the oil, I opened it up, and it seemed like it was overflowed. It's overfilled because the minute I opened it up, it poured out, right? So it was really dark oil. So here's the reservoir where I need to take off that cap and drain the oil. But this wheel is in the way. But according to this pin here, it looks like you could just remove this pin really quick and hopefully the wheel will come right off. And it does. See how easy that is? And then that gives me an opportunity to grease this area too. So I'm gonna loosen this bolt over here, cap, and drain the oil. Now because I want the oil to drain out this way, right? This part is now high because I just jacked it up. So I'm going to actually lower the level for the left-hand side. So I'm going to drop it a little bit, all the way to the bottom actually. And so that part is, the left part of this snowblower is actually like that. So the oil will just pour out that way. You have to use 2 of these because sometimes if you try to loosen this cap, right? Sometimes when you try to loosen this cap, the whole shaft will start turning. So you have to kind of hold the shaft in place. And it moves. And you go get a pan. I'm actually using this because this will catch it pretty well. of a pain to fill oil because this reservoir over here is so small. It's kind of in a tight spot here too, so it's hard to pour without a funnel. You definitely need a funnel. And there we go. Cap is out and it's draining. And you know what? Now that I look at it, yes, the oil is very black and dark, but if you look at it, right, yeah, no, you need an oil change, for sure. I have to do it because I know Mike is not very technical with this stuff. When I tell him to fill up, check his oil and fill it up, he once put an entire quart of Lucas oil into a push mower. I'm like, dude, you're only supposed to put 20 ounces. He's like, oh, I didn't know. So he poured the whole thing in there. As a result, it didn't run anymore, so he gave it back to me. I just did an oil change and it was fine. So you have to know exactly how much oil you put in your machines, you know? Because this is a winter machine, you got to put in 5W30. I'll let this drain out and we'll put some new oil in here. Can you believe how much oil is in there? This is like a quart, right? It's still dripping. I have to unload this and put it back onto the nozzle again. So almost 2 quarts of oil in here. I was looking online to see how much oil, and I can't find anything that relates to this 38150 Toro. I think from the late 70s or early 80s. Some of them showed 24 ounces, which sound about right. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some of this Lucas SAE 5W30. This is for winter use for temperatures under 32 degrees. We're going to put a funnel to it right there and just fill it until I could stick my pinky in here and it's up to the threads, you know? Because before, when I took that cap off, it overflowed. I don't know how you got the oil in there, you know, if it overflowed like that. And put the cap back on. Put a funnel to this hole over there. And be very careful and just slowly fill it until I can see the top of the oil. Then I'm going to pull the flywheel a little bit, let the piston move around a little bit just to slosh the oil around, then check the level again. I moved my car closer to the garage because it was directly under that branch that's just like hanging down like that, and it just looks like it wants to come down right onto my windshield. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a pain in the butt, huh? Okay, so I poured like almost a whole quart in there. And so now you can see the oil is up to the threads. So I think I should stop. But before I stop, I'm gonna put this cap back on and I'm gonna pull the recoil a couple of times just so that the thing cranks around a little bit and the oil is allowed to go in other places. So I cranked the engine a few times by pulling the cord a bunch of times, maybe 10 times, so that it had full revolutions, and the oil stayed right at that level there. So I think that's done. I think that's good. It's got new oil in here, and it's about a quart. I mean, totally, like a full quart in here. Okay, so I put the cap back on, and I'm gonna put the wheel back on. First, I'm gonna jack it up because remember it was at one point higher. I'm going to check the levels again because it's higher now, you know. I'm going to spray a little bit of red and tacky spray grease onto the axle. Has a little oil on there from the drippage before, but this is just to ensure that it slides off easily next time for the next guy. maybe Mike. Just gonna put the wheel back on. And I also sprayed some lubricant around that area too. What did I do with that pin? There we go. So now the wheel's on there. You just slip the pin right through the axle and lock it. Before I forget, I forgot to tighten this thing here. That's very important. There's also another dipstick cap on the other side of the engine. I wanted to check that out too to make sure that it's evenly distributed in the Earl. Maybe there was two separate reservoirs where you have to fill one and fill the other, but it isn't. It is full of oil, as is this side. So that's nice and tight. And that's how you change the oil on a late 70s, early 80s Toro 826 dual stage 4-stroke Briggs & Stratton 8 horsepower engine. It didn't say anything online about how much oil, what the oil capacity is for this specific engine, but I poured out about 1 3/4 of old oil. It was over full, and I put 1 full quart in there of 5W30. 5W30 is for machines that run under 32 degrees. You could also use 10W32, but if it's a dedicated snow machine for freezing temperatures, let's say you live up north in like Canada or something, or Michigan, you know, you're pretty much using your snowblower all the time under 32 degrees, and 5W30 is the optimum oil. But 10W30 would also work because it works for both temperatures, just not extreme heat or extreme cold, you know. Both caps are on tight, both levels are correct up to the threads, and the cap is nice and tight on the reservoir. The axle is greased, wheels back on here again. I'm gonna drop this down, and then when Mike is ready, he can come pick it up. It's fully serviced and ready for you to put the chute on, and then you'd have a nice snowblower for the winter. Electric start and all. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.